The main protagonist of the Zelda series, Link, has been around for over 3 decades now, and during his many adventures over the years, he has built up quite the arsenal of items. Ranging from magical enchanted boots that allow Link to run and glide across open gaps that would normally lead Link to a fatal end, basic but brilliant bows that the hero has used in assassin-like fashion to take on his enemies, to more technical items like the remote control grabbing beetle device found in Skyward Sword. That list could go on for a while, but I think it's fair to say that Link is spoiled for choice when it comes to his items. But sadly for Link, in Breath of the Wild, the items took a complete 180 and went a lot more basic. There is, however, a sequel to Breath of the Wild on the way, and this offers the opportunity to bring back some of his classic and loved items back into the series. And given the reception on my recent Breath of the Wild sequel videos, I thought I'd continue the trend, as I still have plenty of ideas to cover. So I put together a list of 5 items I would absolutely love to see make a return to the series in the Breath of the Wild sequel. So without further ado, here's my list of 5 items that our hero Link has used over the years on his many adventures that I would like to see return in the Breath of the Wild sequel. Getting the ball rolling at the opening number 5 spot is the Mirror Shield. This item is one that has appeared in multiple games over the years, but in my opinion its best and most iconic appearances came in The Wind Waker, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. The Mirror Shield is one of the most unique items, as it takes what would normally be an everyday essential to Link and gives it a complete makeover that comes with an extremely clever mechanic too. The name really speaks for itself here. It's quite literally a mirror shield, and offers some of the coolest puzzle mechanics in the series. Some great examples would have to be deflecting the light around a room and making it bounce off other mirrors or reflective objects in order for a beam of light to reach a specific location. Now, whilst puzzles took a bit of a holiday in Breath of the Wild, I could see the return of the mirror shield having a role in the combat of the sequel. Unlike its counterpart the Hylian shield, when projectiles are fired or spat towards Link and blocked with the mirror shield, they just break away and turn to rubble. With any other regular shield, these objects would often be fired back, which, thinking about it now, it would actually make more sense for that to be the other way around, considering it's a mirror shield. Either way, I think it would be really cool to see some enemies in the sequel that will shoot beams towards Link, similar to how the Guardians hunt Link down with laser beams and their beams can be parried back, but with a mirror shield on Link's side, deflecting those attacks would become effortless. I feel like this item should be more of a reward. However, be more of a reward for fairly late in the game, to avoid making the majority of the story a walk in the park. This would depend on how puzzles are done in the sequel too, but it would also open up the chance for the developers to bring back some light manipulation puzzles akin to the Stone Tower temples in Majora's Mask. So that's my first pick, the Mirror Shield. Coming in at number 4, the Fishing Rod. No, I'm not joking. I seriously want to see the fishing rod make a return to the series. Call me weird if you want, but I can't tell you how much time I've spent fishing in Twilight Princess specifically. The fishing rod has appeared many times throughout the series. It can be found in Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, and even Majora's Mask 3D. But the version I would love to see make a return is the one found in Twilight Princess. Well, I should really be saying variations. Varieties? Whatever. In Twilight Princess, we get the more basic bobber fishing rod, which can be used anywhere in the game, and then later in the game we can rent the lure fishing rod from Henna's fishing hole. My main reason for choosing the fishing rod is because in Breath of the Wild, I was seriously surprised and disappointed to not see the fishing rod. The game was filled with ponds, rivers, and open seaside shores, more than any game in the series. But the only way we could actually catch fish is through hand catching them, shooting them with an arrow, or electrocuting them. To me, not including the fishing rod was a huge miss. In my personal opinion, it was so fun in Twilight Princess just rowing about the pond and, well, fishing. It's relaxing and offers a fun break from the main quest that other breaks like minigames wouldn't offer. Twilight Princess even had a little depth to its fishing. You could collect different kinds of lures for a minigame and also find a hidden lure in the water. The Breath of the Wild sequel could take this to a whole nother level and maybe be as in-depth as, say, the ship customization in Phantom Hourglass. Feel free to call me basic, but taking my number 4 spot is the fishing rod. Now for the middle of the pack, number 3 spot. The Iron Boots. Staying around the element of water, the Iron Boots are a very unique and functional item to the series. These bulky boots can be found in only 3 games: Ocarina of Time, The Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. They more or less serve the exact same purpose in all 3 games, but being a Twilight Princess superfan, we will use the boots in that game as our main example. As you can imagine from the name, they are boots made of iron, and if you have enough common knowledge on metals, you will know they can be heavy. That is the sole purpose of the Iron Boots, to be heavy and weigh Link down. The main usage we get from the Iron Boots is for underwater exploration, something that was again, surprisingly not in Breath of the Wild. They help Link get to the bottom of a body of water very quickly. A good way to describe how they work is by imagining Link with an anchor tied to his feet, dragging him down to the lake bed or seabed. Being a Zelda game, logic isn't too present, and Link is still able to walk around, just at a much slower pace. This offers some really fun and at times scary underwater adventures, and with the sequel to Breath very likely being open world, seeing the return of the Iron Boots would instantly give the game a whole new world to explore below the waves of Hyrule. I'm actually very scared of large open water, and it still scares me in video games, but I love a good fright or something to put me on edge, so I would love to be able to venture the seabed of the Lurelin Shores or the lake bed of Lake Hylia, and who knows what we might find down there. A dungeon? Well, we can only wait and find out. So taking my number 3 spot is the Iron Boots. Now for the runners up, number 2 spot. The Lens of Truth. Now, this pick is an interesting one. The Lens of Truth is an ancient Sheikah artifact that holds powers anyone would kill to get their hands on. Like a few other items on the list, the name really tells us all we need to know. The Lens of Truth is a magnifying glass, but with a unique ability. Whoever holds this mysterious relic and gazes through its eye will see the real truth behind everything. The Lens of Truth only appears in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but is undoubtedly one of the most iconic items in the entire series, and this is due to its extremely unique and powerful abilities. Some great examples of just how strong this piece of glass is would be when Link uses it to see hidden platforms in order to make his way across what would be a deadly drop, and allowing Link to see hidden openings in the wall and even hidden chests. I actually have a bit of an idea as to how we can acquire this relic in the sequel. I would love to see us finding and digging up this old relic. Maybe a Sheikah person from Kakariko Village knows some info on the long forgotten relic, and we go on a bit of a scavenger hunt to locate it. Then once we have it, we can see things in the world of Breath of the Wild, and whatever new areas we get to explore in the sequel that we wouldn't be able to see from the naked eye. Similar to what I said with the Iron Boots, this item could even open up an amazing opportunity to reveal a dungeon hidden within Hyrule. So taking my runners-up number 2 spot is the magical and long forgotten Sheikah relic, the Lens of Truth. Before I reveal my number 1 pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The ball and chain from Twilight Princess, the skull hammer from The Wind Waker, and the beetle from Skyward Sword. Number 1. The Clawshot. This one was a tough one to pick. I could have said the Hookshot or Longshot, but I personally just prefer the Clawshot, and one of the main reasons for this is because in Twilight Princess you can actually find a second Clawshot to create the double Clawshot. And in their Skyward Sword appearance, we find them already doubled up. In the sequel to Breath, I would be so happy if we could find the double Clawshot somewhere in the game. If you know your Breath of the Wild trivia, you will know that the developers did try to work in the Hookshot originally, but it wasn't really working without essentially breaking the game and making it way too easy. But I feel like the Clawshots could work in the sequel if used realistically. By that, I mean don't allow us to grab onto anything within the world. Make it so that they can only grab onto stuff like wooden objects and metal fencing like in Twilight Princess. I will admit, it would be a huge challenge to bring them back, and it's honestly a bit unrealistic. but I feel like they could definitely work for whatever new lands we are given to explore in the sequel and within some of the existing Hyrule. But they aren't just for traveling. They can also be used in combat. In Twilight Princess, they were used to draw enemies closer to you and then attack them. This proved very useful for airborne enemies and enemies that are heavily armored. The Clawshots made for a fun mechanic in combat, which in my opinion was really clever. They took what the Hookshot did and added in some combat mechanics. I could see them being primarily used in just dungeons, but with some open world usages too. So whilst it's very unrealistic to see them return, the item I want to see return in the Breath of the Wild sequel the most is the Clawshot. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and maybe even subscribe to see future videos. What do you guys think? What items would you love to see make a return in the sequel? Those are my personal picks. Be sure to let me know in the comments what your 5 items would be. A massive thank you goes out to all of my wonderful and amazing Patreon supporters for your generous support to the channel. So special thanks to Hexovian, Leonarco1, K-Tala, Karika, Saphira Sky, Daniel Kilman, Neighborslove13, Barky Doggo, Harley Quinn, M, Chris Simpson, Andrew, and Brett Harris. Your support is very much appreciated, and I can't say this enough, but thank you. Again, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.